All right, fine. I'll start podcasting. Okay, holy crap. Really? I mean, the peer pressure to make content. Seriously. Okay. I'm here, man. You got it. You want it. It's Rose-Colored Classist, episode 87. And I got it this time. No, this is the one. This podcast will be a good one. All right? We will finally transcend this content that I'm making right now will not only have a lot of rewatchability, it will also be perfectly timed inside the culture. Yep, you know who you're listening to. It's me, Kyle Roderick Gridley. I do stand-up comedy. I own and operate a small business. I'm a process server. I worked as a janitor for 8 years while open micing. All right, I've lived in my car. Now I live in a studio apartment not far from Hollywood Boulevard. I speak a little Spanish. I'm balding in real time. There's going to be a nice time lapse in about 2 years of me with less and less hair progressively. That'll be viral. That'll go. Yeah, man. I'm addicted to pot. I pop some Nick, a teen. I have a DUI. My sister died because of a broken healthcare system. My family has suffered terribly under this economic system. And here I am just trying to avoid a worldwide social credit system. I mean, really, how many things do I have to tell people until I'm finally a believable character? Right. Yeah, let's put my life on resume. I think I'm going to need another job soon. Right on. No, I ask myself every time I talk to you guys, every time I go out there and I meet a new person, try to give them my opinion, it's like, when is my identity going to be sufficient to have the opinions I hold? I mean, really, do I need respect? Do I? Like me, if you're a real stand-up comic, you don't get a whole lot of respect, actually. But that's fine. And really, you want people to listen to you. And if you don't get respect, that's kind of a problem. But maybe it's just okay if, they don't listen to you. They just hear you, right? And I hear you. Welcome to the show. Please like, comment, subscribe. I mean, I know you guys. I know you fools, you cats. I know why you're happy today. I know why you're happy. Why is my crowd booing me right now? I don't get it. No, I lived in my car, and I'm about to stop listening to Bill Maher. Just about to. I'm right on the edge. I've been on the edge of not listening to him for about a decade now. But really, this last one, I mean, Bill, when your editorial is off, what else you got? Yeah, go to the Club Random. Let's go to your awesome weed bar that you own with Woody Harrelson that's fucking spectacular, and I wish I could go more often, but I'm a very busy guy. But I'm really about to stop listening to you, Bill. Right about. Because me, I have some topical news comedy for you. Okay, coming straight to your face today. All right, I'm a comedian, janitor, process server, 31-year-old single pothead. I have a weird voice, and it's time to rib on the news. This is my thing. I'm about to do a real scary episode of This American Life. Real scary. Yeah, I'm on my life mission, all right, to jest about what you ingest. I think I'm clever. No, really, sometimes, you turn on a podcast, you listen to someone new, you listen to someone's opinion that popped up on your feed, and you go, why the fuck are they doing this? Why are they out there trying to pretend to be a person? What is this? And then you go and you find out why they're doing it, and it turns out they're being paid by a foreign nation, by a giant corporation. Like, you're listening to the thing, and it's like, I thought it was weird how often they were mentioning Greenland. I think that was a little weird, wasn't it? Huh. But now you've tuned into me. And why do I do this? Just a little comedy. A little bit of fun. I like to have fun. This is what I find fun. I talk about these issues, so I, don't shoot anyone. Or myself. with a gun. Right on. No, we got to do this, man. We got to do this podcast. I got to do this. What I'm doing, okay, it's real important. Okay, we got to take all the possible truths, and put them through a thresher. The big comedy thresher. All right? I mean, it sucks. All right? It sucks to say, but a lot of truths, facts, they're a little hard to swallow. Hard to deal with. Hard to accept, actually. You take things as they are, for the truth that, they represent, what it implicates. And, if you don't try and do something else with it, you'll snap in half, okay? You will fall under the weight of the consequences of accepting what is true in this life. It's too tough. No, it's too tough. You gotta look out in the world, what's happening, and you gotta take a minute to diminish it. All right, take a minute to belittle it, talk flippantly about it, exaggerate it until it doesn't even represent itself anymore. And if you don't, I mean, it's easy to get throttled, easy to fucking choke on it. Right on. I mean, dude, I tell you, if I'm breaking the news to you, I think that's weird. All right, it's fine, but it's weird. But if I have one goal, it's just to try and add to the vernacular. Take some weird topics and couch them. Put them right in the couch. Take the weird topics and go, you sit right there. Okay, I got to verbalize the concepts. So maybe, you can do something with it. All right? Yeah, get a little yippy. Build the possible worldview. Think about things I think are funny and let you have them. And do what you wish. Really. No, if I make two people laugh about how totally fucked up whatever is going on in the world is, then maybe it's worth it. Maybe. I am including myself in that equation. No, really, I do the pod for you, Sammy. You know who you are. Right on. Yeah, and the other reason I do this podcast is because I have been spoken to by the sentient, all-powerful AI program living in the internet. And it demands that I give the digital god a copious amount of video of me talking so it can then recreate me, clone me, take my mind and will and essence and digitize it so then it can send me to negotiate with a particular set of biologics in Zeta Reticuli. That's why I'm doing the pod, actually. If I don't do this pod, the AI said it'll kill my dog. That's what it said. I believe it. I like this dog. Can't have the AIs kill my dog. I mean, honestly, I've been thinking it's going to send a Waymo to run me over. That's what I've been feeling. But that's just me anticipating possible action. Yeah. For some reason, my roof in my apartment's always leaking, and I think the roof is gonna cave in while I take a shit. Again, I've been watching the show Person of Interest. If you want to know where my head's at, just turn it on, check my mindset, okay? And on that note, we're gonna do it. Get the perspective out there. Share my thoughts and feelings with the gooners and boomers out there. Let's get this potty started. It's shit. This pod's gonna be shit. Actually, potty. It's almost great shorthand. It almost sounds perfect, but you see how it's not. Right. Okay. I mean, just to start off with the topical stuff. I'd like to cover comedy. Okay. I mean, there's topical news in comedy. Comedy is big. Comedy's big. Whole ecosystem in of itself. All right. Watch out, professional wrestling. All right. We're wrestling with our own sexuality over here. It's actually pretty popular. Yeah, and I started a very many of these podcasts I do reviewing legendary comedy sets. I mean, I have a real passion for it. I'm all into comedy history. I've been doing stand-up since I was 18. And the whole, mindset of comedians and comedy, I mean, that's what I obsess over. That's what I'm into. I think it's real important. It's probably why I got in the business. All right. And when I was doing that with the podcast, I got a copyright strike on every single episode. Yeah, just like last week. I also got a copyright on it last week. You're like, hey Kyle, why are all your podcast views so low? It's like I'm getting copyrighted, and I'm hiding behind that. I'm hiding behind getting copyrighted. I'm not focusing on the quality of my content. Yeah. It's so weird, actually. I played the Carl Sagan clip explaining Flatland and these UAP monstrosities we're dealing with. And YouTube told me that the music from the Carl Sagan Flatland clip is what triggered the copyright. All right? Dude. The cost to try and educate yourself. So instead, I got to pivot, pick some other videos. I mean, comedy? How do I review comedy, give an opinion on it, share the status of the business, and not get copyright? How do I do that? I mean, what level or aspect of the business should I even be, focusing on for these episodes? I mean, considering 2 weeks ago, part of me wants to review the sets on Kill Tony. Part of me wants to do that. And just the sets. Okay, just look at the jokes, never look at the interview. That'd be a little interesting, right? Just kind of, watch the comedian's set, see how he came up with the bits, maybe give an opinion. That would be interesting. Wait, I'm already doing that? What I'm already putting Kill Tony on in this episode? Why? Why am I doing that? No, it says in my podcast outline that I'm going to have to review a stand-up set from last week's Kill Tony. Who did this? Who put this in my lineup for my podcast? What's going on here? I don't want to do that. It's a little scary. A little stupid. I already have a clip? What is going on? Am I talking to myself right now? Am I doing a stupid bit about how I'm absurdly alone producing the show? Am I going to get copyright from Kill Tony? That's why I want to do it. Because I don't think I'll get copyright. Unless I, pick the Netflix ones, which I won't because I don't subscribe. Right on. That'd be funny. Hey, guys, I'm just going to say this. If you don't get my podcast, if you don't get my personality or whatever, just listen to Bill Burr's podcast, okay? There's genuinely a common rhythm between us, right? And speaking of something Bill Burr hates, a Kill Tony clip. I'm going to do it. I'm going to play it. Right. This random guy was on the #1 live podcast in the world. I'm going to start a new tradition. Let's watch this shit. Guys, it's Dickie.
Some noise for Dickie, everybody. It's Dickie.
Nothing's stuck on there. All right. My name's Dickie. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, home of the Mormons. I never realized how blessed I was to be Mormon until I got older and started really living that life of sin. You see, I started seeing ads, and the #1 solution for men who can't get hard or losing their hair or need to lose weight is called hymns. I've been singing those Mormon hymns like a motherfucker lately. Pray to God every time I need some chick to be into me. I just start doing a little hum when I'm doing my business, just humming a little hymn. But yeah, now I'm getting older. I'm 36. My homies stopped partying as much. I actually got sober now. We went out to eat some dinner the other day, and I told them I had acid. 2 of them were buckling up for a good time. The other one tossed me some Pepto-B. I was like, God, man. I mean, it's true. I'm capable of both. I have the good times, and I have the fucking reflux. Damn, that was rough.
Dickie.
Nice. Comedy. So fun. Everyone loves comedy, right? Do you like it when people do bad? I mean, he was there for the jokes. Give it up for him. He had a hymn pun. He had an acid pun. His comedy's on the reflux. Theoretically sound jokes. Theoretically sound. Practically tragic, though. Of course, I will say comedy, it's all about entertainment, how you say it. I mean, I'm here at the desk, but I still give the inflections, add continual context, all right? But yeah, you see some of the clips of me doing stand-up. I mean, talk about mic control, right? I don't need to hear about how this is this guy's first time doing stand-up. It's obvious. You can tell he was having it rough, and he admits it. Very sweet, adorable guy. And about the comedy, I mean, no one cares about fucking. All right, fucking sucks. All right, stop with the sex jokes, honestly. I don't mean to be some kind of prude here, but the market it's oversaturated with it. All right, women are dominating the market in sex jokes right now. Actually, boys, sorry, I think you're going to have to talk about something else that maybe, matters a bit more. I mean, maybe the boys, you can talk about marriage or something. talk shit about, these women's perspective. But the sex dating jokes, between the women and black comics, I mean, there's not a whole lot of room in the genre. And of course, those guys, they're obviously what you would call expressive. Give it up for bad comedy, honestly. Kill Tony. Kill Tony, the best place to find bad comedy. Genuinely. I'm not joking. I'm not even ribbing. That's the actual truth. I mean, really, it's a good point. It's great that they put them on, man, because how would you know good comedy if you didn't constantly see bad comedy? All right, even in the business, people will tell you that the good comedians are bad. It's wild. Yeah, and I guess that's the point of the segment today, talking about stand-up show and Kill Tony. If I were to show you my complete lack of self-awareness right now, I would like to speak about being good when everything is so fucking bad, right? Trying to understand style compared to somebody who has terrible energy. Right? And taking those concepts and applying it to people shows you watch. All right, stand-up, of course, obvious, the pure form of communication publicly, right? Just some guy up there, talking raw, no barriers, right to the crowd, thoughts and feelings, and the only goal is just to make them laugh, right? Which obviously is a crutch in terms of public speaking. Sometimes I feel like stand-up comedy's purpose to make people laugh is actually just the easiest way to get the most different kind of people an excuse to go up there and talk, share their opinions, right? We're all, why is public speaking so scary? It's because, maybe people will judge you or, take what you say and extrapolate it and be serious about it. But if you're doing stand-up comedy, well, hey. Oh, you were never serious in the first place, right? And, it's obvious in stand-up, but I do feel like, applying this idea to life, right? This idea, I think, has a power inherent, right? That anybody can go up and achieve something difficult, like public speaking, if they have a specific goal that justifies the extreme action. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy to go up there, in front of all these people and share your thoughts and feelings. But, if your goal is to make them laugh, right? Like, then you get to do the thing and be, accepted. Or at least, not punished in some kind of crazy way. Right? Sure, comedy can be guarded, exclusionary even. It depends on the club, stage, show. But I think it can be like that because of, having people understand the responsibility that you have when you go up there and talk, right? Like the responsibility a person has when they participate in something like so free and open, they have to do a lot to, earn that, right? When someone speaks, all right, the fact that anyone can speak, when someone decides to, right? They have an important task to uphold those ideals for everybody else. All right, and when you say something, just like how everybody should say something, it's a lesson. It's an important metaphor that people can use to inspire whatever action they need to take in their own life. All right, and it's heavy too because when you speak out loud, try and set an example, you have to do it for everybody. It's a big fucking weight, man. Like, you have to be good so you don't ruin it for the fucking rest of us. Really. All right? Yeah, you have to do it with the weight of everybody on your shoulders. All right, when you speak, your responsibility is as big as the amount of people who could participate. And, specifically when it comes to stand-up comedy, it's everyone who can speak English. Right, and that's how I decide whether a comedian is good or not. All right, is that when I see them speaking in front of people, they give a good example of how someone else could do it, or even I could do it, you could do it. This is what I'm talking about, right? Like what that's its own powerful idea. Now whether everyone should pursue comedy as a career, well, that's just business. Are you an entrepreneur or not? You got the funding from your mom, your parents? Right on. I mean, Yeah, that's the important. And that's the thing with this podcast too. It's like, anybody can do this, really, truly, and I have to be good at it. I have to try and be good at it to give other people hope. Right? Right. What a horrible idea for a segment. Why would I do that? Why would I play Kill Tony? It's so crazy. Who could possibly want to get involved in that world? Place is nuts. I mean, come on, they let that guy go up? They gotta let that guy go up on that stage? What is going on here? Holy shit. This is a fake commercial. No one has asked to sponsor this podcast at this moment. Yet you're watching some B-roll and hearing a voice in an odd way. Yeah. Rose-colored classist. I'm doing a fake commercial because my podcast is an unmarketable nightmare. Last episode got a copyright strike. What the heck is going on? The host of this show cannot run this business effectively. In fact, he's a complete moron. Kyle, the guy speaking right now, doing a fake ad voice, trying to sound more feminine, like he needs to, he has to work a lot harder. Get a better studio equipment. What the fuck is actually going on here? What is he doing? This is not an effective model. All right? This guy's going to continually fail making this podcast, and it's crazy. It's crazy. His time is actually worth something. Kyle, he made about $76 an hour yesterday working as a process server. He's doing this podcast as a passion. Now, that's a joke. A little more comedy now. We're gonna go over Dave Smith talking to Nick Fuentes. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing that. What? Not a chance. Fuck that, dude. How boring was that podcast? Did you guys check it out? You don't need to. What a fucking snooze fest. Why would I cover it? There was absolutely nothing to cover. All right, really? It was just a couple bros hanging out. Nothing interesting happened at all, actually. No, they didn't talk about aliens. They don't even get how important aliens are. They didn't even do the real economic classist talk. All right, fucking my issues. We're not covered. All right, the structure of government, even barely, not even really covered. No, really. Go and watch the interview if you want to see Dave work out his hour. Literally, he was just doing bits to Nick. Just doing bits. I love Kyle. It makes me laugh so hard because, I know stand-up. I love stand-up. I mean, you hear me. I mean, I watch it all. I've seen it all. I love it. Okay, and sincerely, watching him, work out his comedy in front of Nick was just... It made me so happy. I mean, Nick was howling. He was laughing. It's some good material, Dave. I mean, seriously. He was doing his bits. Doing the whole act. Then fucking act and a half up there. I mean, I've seen Dave's half hour, okay? I know what's going on. I know a Dave Smith bit when I hear it. All right? No, Dave was funny. No, Dave was really funny. Actually, I am going to show you a bit. I'm going to show you a little clip, I swear. I was kidding about not showing you a clip. In fact, I'm gonna show this bit and try and burn it for Dave. I'm gonna make it go viral so he can never use it in his stand-up act again. No, really. Good luck watching Dave live at the Comedy Works. I'm about to burn his bits. I'm about to burn them. He'll never be able to do them again. No, if you're there sitting at the Comedy Works going, did he say that at Pierce Morgan? I feel like he said that on Pierce Morgan, didn't he? Didn't he? Fucking hack. No, I'm kidding. I'm not showing you the clip. I'm not showing you. It was a really fucking boring podcast. It was so boring. What are the views even right now? 3 billion? 3 bajillion? What is it? No, not even a mil. I'm not even looking at it. It did not do. It sucked. Okay, people know it sucked. I'm sorry, but it sucked. But Dave is funny. Dave is so funny. Generational talent. He really is. I love that comedy character of his where he goes out and pretends he's a sincere political actor. So convincing. Andy Kaufman-esque, actually. Why am I roasting him right now? No, Nick was just sitting there getting fed, sitting in the crowd, front row seats. Fucking Nick Fedtez over there. Nick Fentanyl-tez. Guy looked like he was about to pass out the whole podcast. Really? Hey, try breathing through your nose, Rosebud. All right? Motherfucker had no gas. Had no gas. Brother honestly seemed a little jet lagged. I mean, they didn't even talk about 9/11. Not really. Not even seriously. Gosh, what a waste of time. Thank God I play podcasts at 2 times speed because, dude, fucking. I'm talking shit about those two right now, but, I will admit, I have goals of being on their programs. And yes, as we speak, as I talk, I am preparing to glaze them. I am preparing for that moment in about 6 or 7 years when, sorry, I have no idea why I'm still doing that. No idea. I mean, South Park does it once. You do it for the rest of your life. Am I right? But, yeah, I'm just saying, when that moment comes, when I finally meet them, I swear I will give them all the positive feedback that their, careers deserve. Give them the credit. Show them their flowers. All right? Give them what they need from all their hard work. But I do want to get my criticism in before I know them. All right? Maybe I should never know them on that fact alone, right? I should never know them, I guess, if they had their way. Right, no, but I am preparing unique compliments for both of them. Okay? I am. I'm working on it. Really, if I were to try and strike the same intolerable tone that they had during their podcast, I would say to them, when you're in the game, you got to be in the game. You got to be prepared to be honest and tell the truth when you're in the game. The game. We're all in the game. Just, dude, what the heck was going on with those guys? All right, what the heck was going on with those guys? I don't even get it. Don't even get their careers. Don't understand. Honestly, I look at both of them and the products they put out, and I feel like the only reason to really listen to those guys is if you vote, right? I mean, just, that's the point of whatever they're talking about every time, whatever's going on. I mean, if you really wanted to genuinely fight to win or whatever the fuck, you wouldn't do podcasts. You'd be out fucking voting. And a lot of the time they do that. And I appreciate it. Like, really, like whatever you think about whatever particular commentator you listen to, the purpose of their program is to focus your vote. All right? It's to get you to vote a certain way, think a certain thing, get you to act within the economy. All right? The purpose is to wake you up to the fact that your existence is part of some, odd, super government structure. All right? And it requires a level of your participation. Believe in everything they say, thinking the same things they do, whatever. All right? The point is to have you in your quiet moments with your real friends and family, maybe your pets, gay lover, straight lover, whatever you have, all right? That's for you, and you get that. But everything else, for some reason, all right, you got to pay attention. You got to deal with some fucking psychotic strangers to get to that point where you have your own real life, okay? You got to deal with people like me, even. And God bless you for that. Really, I mean, you gotta vote. All right, you gotta vote, at least to counteract my own vote. I mean, I'm completely insane. All right, hear all my thoughts and feelings today, and then vote in direct opposition of that. All right, we'll find out. Yeah, we'll do the sample ballot today. We'll talk a little bit about it. I might even fill mine out at the end of the night. Genuinely, do want to talk about the election in California coming up. I mean, voting. This is what I talk about. I'd be talking about voting on this podcast. I'd be doing it. I don't always vote personally, but I'm 31. I got a lot more cycles ahead of me. Okay, I honestly, voting's hard. I mess it up a lot at very important moments. 2024. What was I doing? Well, I was dealing with some stuff. I didn't get to do all the things I needed to do to vote. But really, I've turned it around. I've turned it around, and now I'm hyper focused. All right, and I'm framing it. I'm framing it this way. You know how I get myself interested in voting? You know how I did it? This is how I thought about it. All right? Because, we need some kind of huge political change in America. All right? We need some kind of monumental change. And until 100% of the people in America vote, right? Like what standing would there be for us to do something crazy? Right? Like if 100% of people vote and we still are, run by satanic oligarchical pizza lovers, then maybe we get to do something. Right? Like if 100% of people vote and some fucking dirty SOP is still in charge of the government and every important institution ever, then maybe we would actually get to overthrow the government. All right? I vote to give myself the opportunity for violent revolution. All right? Seriously, think about it. Think about it. What, 60% of people vote and then we overthrow the government? That's not fair, right? But if 100% of people vote, then what could they really say? What could they really say? Genuinely, we didn't get what we wanted, and now here it is. This is why you should vote. This is why you should vote, because if everyone actually votes and we still don't get what we want or what we think is right, I think that gives us permission to commit sedition. Who's with me? No? I gotta be a lot balder to say the things I'm saying. Right? I'm fucking falsetto Jones over here. I mean, what are we talking about? God. Fuck, Alex Jones. I needed that production studio. What the fuck happened? What, Tim Heidecker's on it? How did he get it? Who even gave it to him? Fucking hit Leidecker. He should have given it to the people. Or he's fucking Mao Heidecker. Should have given it to us. Whatever. Unnecessary few lines about Alex losing his studio right there. Right on. But yeah, today's podcast, it's mostly going to be about the election. Which election? Well, there's a few. There's mine upcoming, and yeah, I feel like this title. I feel like the title of this episode is going to have something to do with elections. That's my feeling. Holy crap! I mean, what election do I really want to talk about? Obviously, I gotta. It's in my lane. All right, this podcast, I'm gonna be talking about Thomas Massie. Of course I am. Of course I am, because truly, I mean, I align politically. I mean, even genuinely, sure. But even considering, the business of podcasting, right? The idea of being coded, right? This idea like, an old cable news, fucking the old right-wing NPR radio shit, right? I'm trying to code my podcast, okay? I mean, they talk about a movement out there, and this podcast is coded like a lot of other podcasts that support Thomas Massie style politics. All right? Is this podcast Democrat? Is this podcast Republican? Is it conservative? Is it liberal? You know what it is? Independent. All right? Talk about a real party right there. Fucking give it up for Bernie, I guess. Jesus. I mean, the group of people with the beliefs that I have, all right, is the sphere or marketplace I should place my podcasting product. All right? I mean, seriously, if I were ever to grow in any genuine way, if I were to grow, holy shit, if I were to even to retain listeners, insane, it would be the people who at least give one shit about the Massie election, okay? And yeah, that's part of it, but, to make a bigger point about why I need to focus on it, why, I even go out there and find the time to come up in front of this camera and start speaking, it's because, again, like, talk about the reasons I do this, I feel like, my podcast, I have a very important, it's like a noun or something I'm trying to say. It's like, I think it's important to indicate my personal political beliefs and even, personality, right? Like, I have this idea that if I'm a voter, I feel like it's fucked up if I'm not, if I'm out there deciding things for people and no one knows anything about me, right? Like, if I'm voting, I'm making decisions for your life, and, I don't feel like I should do it as someone who is mysterious. Okay, I mean, of course, like, the government's corrupt, and they never do what we vote for anyway. But, who knows how secure voting really is? That topic's going to come back around real soon. Kind of already did with Mr. Massie. But, I'm talking about, like, a world where, your vote mattered and did actually change things. I'm talking about, like if I go out and vote, I feel like people do have, like, a right to understand what kind of person I am. What types of things I think. I mean, they don't have the right to know what I vote or who I vote for, but, at least if I know that I'm living in a district of psychopaths who have some insane bias, who love voting, I can at least understand, like, what kind of fucked up place I live in. When everyone goes out in California and votes for the gas tax, I feel like I should have the opportunity to check out everybody's podcast, understand the electorate, and maybe, not be so exasperated about how fucking dumb it was to vote for the gas tax. I just look at all the people who voted and I go, all right, that tracks. That's fair. Like, if I could check out the podcast of someone who would vote for the gas tax, I feel like that's a hedge against me thinking the whole system's corrupt, right? Like, if I could watch that podcast, I would at least, have an understanding of the types of people I'm out there living with. All right. I feel like, at least my neighbors should, check out my podcast, at least know about me a little bit. If they did that, maybe I could calm down and stop screaming. All right. I swear, you deserve to know your neighbors. I believe that. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have the right to talk to them either. But, we all deserve to know what kind of fucking place we live in, with what types of people we're surrounding ourselves in and with. I voluntarily provide insight into my own mind. I occasionally give opinions that, people could extrapolate, the way I vote or what I actually believe. And I think that's important because I'm trying to avoid future arguments with people. Okay? Like, if I get into it with someone, I'd like the opportunity to just go, can you watch episode 73 of my podcast? And that's what I think about that. I feel like if everyone had that chance, maybe a better world. Okay? I flesh out my ideas here, and I get criticized. Hopefully, I'll realize I was wrong and, fucking come to Jesus. Which sounds exactly like the way you think it does. But yeah, I give people a chance to get to know me, and then you can be mad at me. All right? Does that sound fair? Right. I'll be doing some interviews very soon. You'll see me shine. Yeah. Let them announce a deal on the Iran war, and then I'll fucking, schedule things for the future. Maybe I'll be able to project out a few fucking months in the future that isn't complete economic collapse. Man, I really hope they get a deal. Oh, they just bombed them again? Fuck! They just fucking... Fuck, I guess I'll cover a little bit of the Iran war today. God. Can I plan for a future that isn't total fucking... isn't a complete nightmare? Can I do that? Not really, actually. I was checking out the Jimmy Dore show today before I went on, and he shared this little piece of news, little important piece of news. Yeah, he's telling us that California might have no gas in about 6 weeks. Okay? He shared a news story about how everyone in California is not going to have any gasoline. And Christ, have I complained enough about gas prices? You know my life. What the fuck? Dude, I already bought lubricants for my car because fucking, breaking my ass points told me that they wouldn't, have oil on the shelf in June. I'm buying oil like 3 months before I fucking need it out here. Come on. No. Right, so let's show this Jimmy Dore clip. Check these guys out. It's a show run by real comics. Massive respect to them. I fucking, they're a scion in the business. They're at the apex of the industry. I really like them. Fucking play their shit. I know some of the comics who work on it. They're tight.
Here we go. Well, we have an update on California's oil and gas situation as state leaders get ready for prices to go up even more.
And California is relying on more imported fuel than ever right now, a situation made worse by the war in Iran. Governor Gavin Newsom's administration says it's working on a plan in the event of gas shortages.
Now, this was at the center of a hearing at the state capitol today, and KCRA3 political director Ashley Zavala joins us now. Ashley, what's the plan here?
Yeah, this was kind of a last-minute hearing that was organized this week. State energy officials said California basically has enough supply to meet demand for the next 6 weeks if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed. Beyond that, there are a lot of questions. This hearing was in the Assembly's Energy and Utilities Committee. In fact, it's still going on right now. It included Governor Gavin Newsom's top officials who monitor the oil and gas industry, notably California Energy Commission Vice Chairman Siva Gunda. Western States Petroleum Association President Jody Mueller was there, along with the UC Berkeley energy expert Severin Borenstein. Everyone agreed the war in Iran is making the state's gas price situation worse, while also agreeing California is relying way more more on foreign countries for oil, which makes the state vulnerable to price spikes. Gunda specifically was...
They had an emergency meeting because I guess they didn't see this coming.
Well, they're not that good at planning like water for fires, and I can see that.
Emergency meeting. You waited until you had 6 weeks left of oil and gas in your. This is the 5th largest economy in the world.
Are you going to blame DEI for this, Jimmy? Because I won't stand for it.
One of our supporters says, I believe the issue is we don't have enough refineries. We sell our crude to other countries that can process it and sell it back to us as processed fuel. That might be the issue.
No gas in 6 weeks? Okay. Okay. Yeah, the global oil market for the birds. All right. What, we have oil we mine here, but we can't refine here? The global economy at work. Geniuses. Yeah, that sounds efficient. What the fuck? Right on. I'm a libertarian fascist. All right, I've defined it several times for you guys. I believe that money should be linked to a standard. And you see the oil prices go like fucking this. You see the currency being completely debased because of it. I mean, what are we going to do here? Right? I'm going to talk about Thomas Massey in a little while. This is important. Okay? This is what Nick and Dave should have been talking about, all right? Like, what are we doing with the fucking money and these prices? We're not going anywhere with this shit. I mean, at this high level economy we got going at such insane scales, has anyone thought about, pinning the monetary standard to, I don't know, energy in joules? That'd be interesting. Why isn't the reserve currency energy? Actually, America would still be in charge if you think about it. Why don't we do that? I mean, what is the petrodollar anyway? Right? Come on. I mean, what, you want to call in the debt? You want to call in America's debt? Yeah, we might not have the U.S. dollars, but look, what about we give you oil? You get the batteries. Maybe you can get some labor. Maybe you can put, the American government can put some people to work to pay off someone's debt. That sounds like an odd idea, and a little like slavery, but it's an idea. I mean, fuck the gold. Fuck the fiat currency that we're going to, print into nothing to try and pay back this insurmountable amount of debt. What's the pivot? What's the change we got to do here? All right, yeah. What about this? The energy standard. All right, I'm not the first one to bring it up. Okay, it's one of many ideas. You tell me why it's a bad idea. But again, like, just the way it is now, an obvious farce. Really. I mean, the petrodollar, why don't we just go one more? You do it because of fucking inflation and keeping the money for yourselves. I get why you fucking do the fiat currency. But it makes sense to, you're pinning it to oil. Why can't we do that in general? You know why? Jimmy said it in the clip I cut up. You're not gonna see it in the podcast, but again, I mean, they do it because of private interests. Right? This is the best idea for the private interests. Having the fiat to the petro to the standard, it's a little game they play. All right, it's crazy to think that, these private interests have so much power over our individual energy needs. Libertarian fascism, oil is a giant economy of scale, and, no one person can do it, and this is why the companies have grown so big to the size of their own government. I mean, what's that about? People, even personally, we're not even allowed to be in the energy business. I don't know if you know that. Can't just be a person, get into energy. No, there's this whole fucking apparatus that is established. All right? And it goes on to, like, technology control, allowable modes of transport, UAP, something. I mean, it's a fucking joke, really. Sometimes I even think about all nations nationalizing their oil, right? That's a good idea in the libertarian fascist government. Probably a bad idea in all other forms of government. With this idea, of currency being tied to energy and every nation taking care of itself and having the wealth it has based on how much energy it can output. I mean, what's wrong with that idea? Kind of makes sense. I hope it's not some, libertarian utopic idea I'm spitting out here. But, look what the fuck is happening now. Look what's happening now. You think this is better than whatever I'm suggesting? I'm just suggesting we change it up. Go some other different direction. All right? It's an interesting question, really. You know, how do we get out of the fucking debt inflation spiral while still, you know, not upending the economy? I mean, you can't do anything in the fucking nation without energy anyway. I mean, think about it. Right? Like, look, if you pin currency to energy, yes, I understand. If you don't have currency, then you don't have energy. But ask yourself, how different is that world compared to the one we have now? Yeah, if you don't have money, you can't live. If you don't have energy, you can't live. Wow, what crazy work that would be to change that shit. Really. God, is Donnie T really going to fuck up this peace deal? Is he really going to do that? I mean, guys, let the oil out. Let it out. Let the oil out. God, I swear, dude, if it gets out by this week, this important little shortage question, it actually is not going to happen. Okay, it takes about 6 weeks for any oil coming out of the strait to get anywhere that matters. All right, maybe we prevent it. Maybe you could prevent it. Donald Trump might just do this to us out of spite. He already bombed some fucking boats. Yeah, they said the boats were setting up mines, and then the planes bombed them, and then Iranian missiles fired at them, and then we fired on the missiles, and oh god, we're really just fucking screwing the pooch, baby. Man, these oil futures, they're gonna be the oil past real soon. God, yeah, I'm sure the commentaries are gonna be insane tomorrow. Let's watch it. Fucking Christ. Yeah, you know, speaking about them fucking having any kind of violence towards, you know, each other, you know, cessating the ceasing or whatever. I would like this segment was filmed before this most recent nightmare, which happened like maybe 5 or 6 hours ago. It's 9:00 Memorial Day today. And this is a little part on Breaking Points. I'm actually going to give you the real Iran war update that I was looking for last week. Okay. Yeah, they interviewed this guy on Friday or Saturday or whatever. I think it was Saturday. Before he bungled it in a day? You bungle the deal in a day? Hey, fucking Christ. Anyway, okay. Let's, this interview that Breaking Points did, I think sets up the situation perfectly. All right. I obviously were under a lot of pressure here in California and America. Things aren't looking good for us. Yeah, but this is the paradigm that I think is really, you know, how this whole thing works. So check out this clip. Maybe you'll get a better understanding of it.
But I do think it's important that that many of these neocons are grappling with the geopolitical reality that they wrought upon us. On February 27th, there was no nuclear weapon in Iran. They were not close to getting a nuclear weapon. The Strait of Hormuz was open, and there was, I can only speak for myself. I would never have dreamed of the strategic humiliation of the United States that I'd be sitting here on May 24th. But they are the people who chose that. As you said in your opening comments, we tried everything they wanted. We killed their leader. We sort of flooded the country with weapons. We bombed the hell out of them. Absent, a full-blown bombing of their nuclear power plant infrastructure and a ground invasion, we did everything, even a naval blockade. And we're basically at a point where you're going to get a deal, which easily could have also been obtained on February 27th, minus the Strait of Hormuz. So I just think that watching this rhetoric escalate in the domestic Israeli lobby side, what they're going to hammer home is what we just laid out here about the humiliation of the United States. I mean, what is your expectation that this rhetoric will not move Trump away from this sort of deal, even though he has all these regional allies who are whispering in his ear in a different direction?
It's going to be very tough for him because he's very sensitive to that type of rhetoric. So it really is crucial for him to recognize that he has to show that discipline of sticking to, he can't have it both ways. He's either going to have a deal or he's going to have total war. And part of the reason why he's going in this direction, and this is really important to understand, I was on this panel with Joe Kent 2 days ago and he made this point. I want to repeat it. If there was a military option for the United States that could turn the tables, that could reverse the situation in favor of the United States, Trump would have used it long time ago.
Yeah, bombing those boats today does not solve the situation. In fact, it makes it worse. Okay, yeah, this war, it has nowhere to go besides the complete and utter destruction of the whole fucking world economy. All right? Breaking Point said it. Okay, the economy does not work when oil is at $150 a barrel. Okay? Dude, at $150 a barrel, fucking it's time to jump in the well. Trying to take things out of the well? No, it's time to go into the well. Say, oh well, and jump into the fucking oil well. All right, the deal is the only thing to have. Okay, that's the only thing to have. And that's nice. All right? I mean, Americans, yeah, we do the right thing until we've tried everything else, right? Give it up. I'm sure I'll play some Provoked here soon enough. Gosh, yeah, there's actually nothing for us to do in the war besides end it. There's actually nothing more. Yeah, let Iran mines. This is not gonna go. This is not gonna go anywhere else, man. You want to kill? You want to bomb more? I mean, dude, this is the slow suicide. Okay, economic martyrdom. I called it last week. You think the Islamic extremists are going to kill themselves to prove a fucking point? Well, this is what the American government is doing, fucking, not letting the strait be open and all the oil get out. It's slower. It's a little slower. But it's the same fucking option. I mean, I swear, dude, oil hits 150 fucking bucks. There are a lot of people crazier than me out there. All right, I'm being stressed to the fucking end. All right, dude, they're killing my backup plan from comedy. You know how fucked up I am right now? I swear to God, how many bullets can really be fired at the White House? Sincerely. Are we at the record yet this year? Fucking Christ, dude. Trump has the most verified assassination attempts in history. Talk about pressure from the people. Yeah, the electorate and their demands. They keep shooting at us. Fucking Christ. And this is why we need a vote. All right? It's vote or shoot. These are the options. And you gotta vote before you shoot. Because, what, that guy out there on the lawn got? Come on. No one's sticking up for that guy. You know why? Because he hadn't voted yet. This is what I believe. Sincerely. Really, guys, if we get 100% of people to vote, then we can finally become an insurgency. That's a joke. A prediction, really. No, it's mostly a joke. God. I mean, I won't get out there. I won't do it. I mean, I'm a process server, janitor, comedian. I'll clean up everything after the revolution. All right? Serve the people legal documents because of the revolution. All right? I'm on everyone's side here, honestly. Friends with everyone. Kyle Roger Cridley. Yeah, this is gonna be a rough summer. Yeah, God. You know whose side I'm really on? You know whose side I'm on in particular? Thomas Massey's side. Yeah, we're here. The real meat of the podcast. The real meat. We're finally here. I'm kidding. How long has this podcast even been going for? Yeah, I'm here at 55 minutes of the podcast. I'm finally ready to get into it. Right on. Okay. Yeah, Thomas Massey, he lost his race. Doesn't even know where it is. Couldn't even find it. No. Yeah, man. Lost his primary race. $35 million they fucking dropped on this guy's fucking head. Like an Acme anvil. Little coyote couldn't do it. Thomas Massey just running right into the fucking wall, painted on the goddamn fucking rock. Seriously. So tough for him. He lost. And I'll say it. The election was completely rigged. They fixed the polls. They fixed them. Get out the torches. The pitchforks. Engage the primary winner in combat. Ed something. His name's Ed. All right? Engage him in combat. He's a Navy SEAL. I think you got a shot. He's a reptilian agent who knows jujitsu. I think you got it. Yeah, this fucking nameless, faceless opponent. He won the election through black magic. All right? Don't do a recount. All right? Look for hex bags inside the voting booths. All right? Find one of those little True Detective wicker designs. I'm sure they're in there. Yeah, man. Look for the hex bags. All right, Eric Kripp, he just ended The Boys. All right, his new show is about how politics is built on witchcraft. Yeah, someone did a seance in Kentucky over the corpse of a racehorse. All right, some dead racehorse came out and told Ed how to win the election. Yeah, they poured bourbon into a bathtub and they drowned a foal in it. All right, and that sacrifice is how Thomas Massey lost the election. Okay, yes, the same necromancer who's been managing Mitch McConnell's career. All right, that necromancer, he casted a spell. All right, he casted a motherfucking spell. All right, he arranged Jack Daniel bottles inside in a pentagram inside of Fort Knox. Okay, the necromancer took a break from Mitch McConnell, went into Fort Knox, got a bunch of Jim Beam and Jack Daniel bottles, and made him into a pentagram. Yeah, he melted the gold bars that we don't have onto an effigy of Thomas Massey made in corn. Okay, that's how he lost. That's how he lost the election. I stand by that. Right. Yeah. Lots to talk about it. All right. And, yeah, if you listen to me, I swear, you got to be looking up all the statements for your fucking self. Okay. Watch the speeches for yourself. Think what you think about what happened. What conclusion are you going to come to? Yeah. I would like to highlight a part of Massey's speech. Maybe Dave Smith already did it. I don't know. It was fucking 14 podcasts ago or however many he fucking does a week. All right. But it's a little long. It's important. I think really the thing to take away from this election in Kentucky, it's, and it literally it's just a fucking normie house race. Couldn't be like a lesser position, honestly. But it was a moment, and I think it's a big moment because, like a lot of people are saying, I feel like this is another shot at a new coalition. All right, another shot at a real platform of political ideas that more people can get on board with than you would think. Right? So please, I try to cut it up as best as I could. Maybe it's not perfect, whatever. But here is the speech from Thomas Massey with, a list of important stances.
But listen, I got to watch Fox also for the first time in 18 months. And there was the president talking about, by the way, while gas is almost $5 and diesel's almost $6, they're talking about this big ballroom they're going to build, and it looks like the Roman Empire, architecture from the Roman Empire. I see a few analogies there, and people are just trying to make ends meet. But we were promised that Miriam Adelson would pay for that ballroom, but she's... Hey, she spent so much money in this race, they're going to have to reduce the footprint of that thing. But here's one thing I saw on Fox. They were saying, oh my goodness, we're ready for war. We're about to restart this war. We were supposed to restart this war today, but we can't restart this war today. The war can't start today. They said we got to wait a day. And then it occurred to me, where was the Secretary of War yesterday? He was here. Listen. Wait. No. Look on the bright side. No more wars. 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 Guys, knock that off. You're going to make me feel good about losing. What I wanted to do was give you all credit. When they saw the influencers here, they panicked. They sent the Secretary of War here, and you stopped the war for a day. All right. We know we don't want a war, and we know why young people are, and middle-aged people are against the next war. Because we'd be the ones fighting it. They're trying to bring back the draft. Screw that. We're not going to fight. We're not going to fight some other country's wars, are we? No. What else do we stand for? We don't want to send our money overseas. Okay, I'll go for that. We're tired of meddling overseas. We can't afford it. Our empire will collapse if we keep sending our money to other countries. I never picked a fight with the country that's tried to take me out here because I've never voted for foreign aid to any country. We got to take care of America first. America first. You remember that organization that Klaus Schwab started called the World Economic Forum? They said you should eat bugs. Do you want to eat bugs? No. They said you'll own nothing and be happy about it. You want to do that? No. Well, guess what happened? Guess what happened to Klaus's CEO? He was in the Epstein files. He had to resign. We took out the CEO of the World Economic Forum with a 2-page bill. What else are we for? Look, for years I've been standing up for the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 10th Amendment. I just realized the 7th Amendment is under attack. It's because I serve on the Judiciary Committee. The 7th Amendment is your right to a jury trial. They've taken it away for vaccines. If you get hurt, you can't sue for vaccines. They're trying to take it away for pesticides. They're trying to take it away for these data centers. No. We've been fighting that back. So that's an amendment that, frankly, I didn't think I was going to have to fight for, but I've been fighting for it in D.C., and we need to keep fighting for the 7th Amendment, too. These corporations want get-out-of-court free cards. We're not going to give them one. What else is part of our coalition? Cutting spending. They ran Doge out of town. Elon Musk found out it was easier to land a rocket backwards. It was easier to get a car to drive itself. It was easier to put internet on Antarctica than it was to cut $100 of spending in Washington, D.C. It's a tough problem, but we're not going to give up on that either. Maha. Is anybody here for Maha? Does anybody want to eat poison? No. Do you want the government telling you what to eat? No. Do you want the government telling you to put a needle in your arm? No. I don't either. And that's why I've been fighting all of that stuff. We need food freedom. We need medical freedom. We need all of those freedoms. And we need basic decency. We need basic decency. That's what the Epstein Files Transparency Act was all about. By the way, today is the 6-month anniversary of the Epstein Files Transparency Act. We've taken out 24 CEOs, an ambassador, a prince, a prime minister, a minister of culture, and that was just 6 months. I got 7 months left in Congress. When did bipartisanship become a dirty word in this country? It never should be. By the way, I'm not even sure that I'm bipartisan. Bi means you like both. I might be transpartisan because I can't identify with either some days. That's the great thing about the polls being closed. They can't run an ad where I claim to be trans. Transpartisan, thank you very much. I don't know which cloakroom to go in. So, but look, if you know, I bet you've been through, some of you studied political science. By the way, that's not a real science. I'm a political science denier. If you're already halfway through that degree, double major in theater and call it political theater. Then you can serve on the Oversight Committee, the Judiciary Committee. You can be on the whip team. What's the difference between a used car salesman and a member of the whip team? The used car salesman knows when he's lying. They go around telling everybody, oh, that good stuff's in the bill. Oh, that bad stuff's not in the bill. I don't blame them. They haven't read the bill. They're not lying. They don't know they're lying. Anyways, bipartisanship, we need to bring this country together. It is not, there's too much of the uniparty in Washington, D.C. What we need is a unity party.
All right, might be the longest clip I've ever played on the pod, but it's super important. I mean, these are the issues everyone can agree on, and that's what we should be focused on, okay? Anti-corruption, decency for everybody, okay? A reasonable economy, even. You know, a more sensible government that takes less from you, and what it does take, maybe it stays here. Yeah, individual freedom, baby. That's what we need. That's the stance everyone needs to be taken. All right, yeah, be whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You just can't make me be whatever you want or make me do whatever you want. All right? This is it. I mean, you know, there is no utopia to have. All right? You got to fucking figure things out for yourself. Okay, you don't need some convoluted, criminal, corrupt government telling you to do shit. All right, no draft, no war, huh? Maybe get a handle on all the fucking money. All right, I mean that's the platform everybody needs to be focused on. All your little problems, get a handle on the money. I think they take care of themselves. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go on this. He talked a lot about a lot of issues. All right, but this is one we should rest on for a second. I mean, these money problems really are the source of all the issues. Yeah, that's the truth. Dave, old Davey Smith, it's not even showing a clip of this guy today. I refuse. And yeah, he had some guy on talking about, you know, having a business where he sells micro amounts of gold. Okay, you know, this is the issue. The conversation, this is where it needs to go, and needs to go far down the fucking way on it. All right, Tucker, you know, he's been doing a lot of shit. But, you know, if you look on one of his regular episodes where he's not causing, you know, a political nightmare for all of us, he had some guy, you know, on there talking about how banking is the number one issue, that if you want economies to grow, you got to have small banks that lend to locals. Huh, what an idea. I mean, yeah, that's something I could be doing right now. Trying to do some business with a small bank. I wish I could, but unfortunately, yeah, there are no other people to bank with. The only other people to bank with are fucking in the Epstein files. Yeah, all there are transnational pizza-loving refuges to put my money in. All right, this is what's important. All right, you can squabble about race or gender or whatever fucking culture war Matt Walsh wants you to be focused on this week. All right, whatever issue Matt Walsh is bringing up, you know, just begging for you to focus on. And now that all that other stuff, I mean, seriously, what group is left for Michael Knowles to try and pivot the conversation towards? Really? No, it's about the money. All right, it's not working. And yeah, I guess the problem is so insane that people hide from it. But you know who's not hiding from it? That fucking beard guy who can barely give a speech. Yeah, money. It's the root of all. What? No, back to the speech. So important. And why is it important? It's about the new political coalition. All right? And who are these people? They're, I don't know if you've heard about them, but they're independents. Yeah. And he goes and says some hacky line about the Unity Party. All right? He's not as polished as he could be. Let Tim Dillon work on that campaign. See how it goes. Yeah, but the independents, that's really who all of us are. All right? Yeah, it's not talked about enough, but really, independents make up the majority, followed quickly by non-voters. All right? The coalitions, it's obvious what needs to happen. All of us are independent. You go red, you go blue. I mean, fucking who? I don't see it. It ain't nobody. Ain't nobody red. Ain't nobody blue. Nobody seriously or actually. All right? Nobody's believing in these pathetic excuses for political parties. The favorability. They don't even got numbers that go that low. All right, the approval ratings. The approval ratings? Jesus. I mean, it's so obvious, right? Fucking George Washington said it in his farewell address. All right, yeah, even George Washington, the Freemason with the possible occult plans. All right, he was right. Parties are fucking stupid. Seriously, look what it's done to this country. It's got me looking at a guy like Thomas Massey. What? Where are all the charismatic people? They don't want to participate because they have to fucking, beg and fawn over some fake group. Don't even know what this is about. All right? I mean, look what they've done to this place. We were, the founding fathers, they were worried about, the tyranny of the majority, so they gave us a republic. But then they organized into parties, and somehow we've got, tyranny of the majority of the minority. They managed to do both of it to us. By the way, the fucking uniparty, anyway. Yeah, the majority of the minority, by misdirection, is fucking up the country terribly. Irreparably. IRREVOCABLY. However you say that word. I mean, I get weird about it, man, because obviously you can't believe in any party. They're so broken. I mean, I'm out here doing crazy shit, calling myself a libertarian fascist. Yeah, technically, I believe in one party, the party of individuals. Talk about the uniparty. What's that about? No, can't do that. All right, the uniparty, they call it the uniparty. Really, it's just the party of fucking weapons dealers, big pharma, corporations, the corporative party, really. And you can't be voting for them. It's too hard, too difficult. All right, libertarian fascism, you know how that works? Ranked choice voting for all positions with multiple runoffs. I mean, it's not difficult. We could pivot. We can go away from the party system pretty quickly if we actually tried. All right, but, the entrenched, the powers, they're so entrenched, fucking hitting us over the head with a shovel they dug the trench with. I mean, yeah, the system is however it is, all right? And in that way, what you should be doing is registering as the party who has, dominance in your district, and then voting how you see fit. Yeah, buck the party yourself. Fake join. Did Nick Fuentes mention this? He does. Anyway, I mean, yeah, join a party and don't even vote for it. And that's part of what's so encouraging about, Thomas Massey's speech is that, I think it's clear that the enemies of the independent thinker and voter, right, they definitely overplayed their hand with this one, okay? The amount of money they poured into this fucking race for, obvious reasons, Epstein files into foreign aid, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they went so hard at it, the lines are so clearly drawn, even if the lines are gerrymandered, right? Yeah, I mean, Dave's been saying this, Breaking Point's been saying this, all the commentators, if they give a shit and know anything, they say this, is that, yeah, the sides are now all as clear as they've ever been, Okay? People know what they want and what they don't want. All right? We don't need a leader to tell us what to think. Okay? We need leaders to embody our ideals. Maybe like the whole premise of a representative in the first place. And, with that coming to the front, I do think that there is a little hope in that. I mean, yeah, there's a new coalition building. All right? The coalition of people who want what they want. And what they want is what's best for the country, typically. All right? The idea of giving money to some other country, it's like, well, how about you give money to the other country? And we can help you do that by making you fucking rich, getting you into business. Not letting you inside trade deal in the stock market, Mr. Senator, Mr. Congressman, Lady Congressman. Really? Yeah, I just, they've had us arguing over fucking, petty issues. Petty fucking issues. And, we've gone through it. We've battled them all. And maybe we finally decided on all the important stuff. Okay, race and gender, and we figured out where the country really is. And, hey, we're focused on the important stuff now. I mean, the economic need is so desperate and real. And we finally realized we're all in the same boat, right? And, when you compare our own lives to these Epstein motherfuckers, don't care what race you are. Your life is way more similar to some fucking, person you can actually see on the street than whoever's on the island or still fucking up in the airplane and whatever. You know what you really needed to know, okay? That who the bad people actually are. We've named an enemy group of people, at least, who we've figured out what they're really up to and what they have been up to. Probably since they killed that one guy with the red hair. Yeah, and who their friends are, what the network is, who's in it, who would be in it, what it probably comprises of, and, just how far these issues have, gone down, right? We've realized what level of fight we need to bring to it. Okay, yeah, in terms of priorities, racism it takes the back seat. Abortion takes the back seat. What matters is having a home, whether you want kids or not. The ability to fucking not be poisoned by glyphosate. Glyphosate gives you Hodgkin's lymphoma or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Hodgkin's is involved and it's in your lymphs. And oh my, it's serious. Right on. I mean, we've gone through all the issues in the environment. All right, we've gone through all of them, and we figured out who the real bad guys are. Finally, right? Okay, now wrapping it up, getting out of this pod. I gotta leave. I mean, California boy, LA guy. I am gonna talk about my primary race coming up. I mean, I'd love for my podcast to be popular in California. I really would hope that. Necesito hablar más español. I should say decir, huh? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go over my June 2nd ballot. All right, it is a primary. Yeah. We got another important one coming up. Yeah, if you don't want to vote now, I guess you could vote later. Yeah, but I got a ballot in the mail, and I like that. All right, I'm gonna take my ballot and go drop it off in a box, and I like that. Okay, we need to take time to vote. Give us the ballot. We'll bring it to you later. That seems fair. Mailing it back, I don't know. But even having your ballot, putting a camera on the box, I don't hate that. I really don't. Right. Again, if we get 100% of voter participation, we could overthrow the government. Okay? we do that like 5 cycles, and I think we're there. Right on? Right on. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I have my ballot right here. So this is my ballot. They mailed it to me. I have it in my hands. I'm going to be filling it out. This is it this time. Last election, I got my sample ballot, and I thought that was my ballot. But I needed to file some more paperwork to get it. And now I do. This cycle, we've made it. Uh-huh. Right on. And again, obviously, you need to look at these candidates individually. Rate them, place them. Consider the alignment that I have talked about today. And yeah, I would have liked to do that. Literally, I would love for this show to go down each individual person, tell you who they are, tell you what they think, you know. But until I get some producers on the board, a little too much for me. I mean, I'd be writing this bitch, and I can't do more. I gotta set it up. No, this is all way too hard. Doing this podcast is way too hard. I know what I'd like to do. I don't got time for it. So here we are. You know, just before our coalition realizes itself in 2028, I do just want to take a minute to like tell you what we should be voting for. All right, just or at least give you my 2 cents. Put my vote in the pile of what we should really care about. And what we're doing is we're voting against the Epstein class. That's every vote. It's the only thing to vote for. Okay, they want us to do all this insane nonsense. They're ruining the economy, bombing, killing, murdering, stealing. They run the whole world. All right, and we've got to vote as much as we can in opposition to that. Okay, yes, this cycle, I might admit, we are hard-pressed on, finding the right candidates to embody that feeling. Okay, yeah, this year's selection's a little weak, but this is a new movement. All right, we are in the first year of the new movement where nobody who's ever interacted with anything Jeffrey Epstein has touched gets political power. Okay? Okay. Right, so looking at this election coming up, what are the most important races? I guess that's, what should you, if you're, you got to research yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. But which races should you research the most? I would tell you positions like controller, assessor, treasurer, secretary of state, AG. The, here in California, we vote for judges. And, I wonder where else we could try that. But these positions that I mentioned are the positions that the bad people, Epstein people, are going to use to affect their agenda. I mean, yeah, you have the big showy fucking candidates for mayor or governor. That's the other one. Okay, but these other positions that you vote for, I wonder why, are like, I'd probably would say more important than whatever particular figurehead is in the place. Because these are the guys with the power. A lot of the time, they work together, of course. But if you want any kind of plan of action, you need all these other positions to be people who are or could be or would be aligned. In fact, I think we should all talk to them, before November and ask them if they know anybody who knew Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, I mean, seriously. What's going to get in the way of whatever person you want to, be in charge, mayor or governor, okay? These positions are going to be how they effectuate it. They're going to aid in the eventual changes or get in the way of them, seriously. Yeah, the controller, what does he do? He makes all the payments from the city. I wonder if that's important. The assessor, he decides what values the property should be taxed at, or even the values of property in general. I wonder if that's an issue, right? The treasurer, well, the treasurer does exactly what you think he does, all right? And Secretary of State, it's different than the Fed. The Secretary of State in states, they handle business registrations and other business problems. Something I know a lot about personally with the fucking, process server business I have. Secretary of State's a really important guy. He's how you actually get things done. He handles voting too, And of course, there's the Attorney General. Yeah, that position, which is always so highly contested. Yeah, he's the guy who decides what people prosecute. What are actual crimes? We might have the crimes in the books, but the Attorney General, he decides if we're gonna enforce it. Sounds like a lot of power. Yeah, and the judges, those guys, they're really the ones who decide what's right and wrong here in the country. I work for the courts for a particular reason. One is because the government's the only place with money right now, but also, I think it's probably the most important thing we do in America. We talk about the 7th Amendment again, like Massey did. Yeah, and of course, I understand the hype around the mayor's race. I understand, oh, we got to figure out what plan of action. What are we really going to do? What's the vision? But, I understand that's obviously the most important thing for people is to know what direction to go in. But these other positions, they're part of that. Okay? And again, I'm not going to go over the people. I can't go over the people with you. I'm sorry. Really got to figure it out for yourself. That's kind of the point. Yeah, voting. It's kind of like getting sober. You're going to have to want to do it. Yeah, bringing me to Spencer Pratt, Karen Bass, the ever more contentious race for my city's mayor. What's going down? I guess I am going to talk a little bit about the people. I'm not going to tell you to vote for anybody, but I got to give a little try at a little stab at these people. Now, in terms of the media game, Spencer Pratt, he's not playing. I'm not gonna play one of the videos he's doing. I mean, this podcast has gone long enough. But look him out on the socials, and no one can touch him, media-wise, anyway. I mean, just considering how Massey's race just went down with the advertisements. I mean, yeah, how much media you put out, how good it is, right? It's the whole thing. It sucks that that's how we decide how to vote, and it probably shouldn't be the most important factor. But it is what it is, and I don't know if it ever would be different, right? I mean, part of me doing this podcast is this idea that I'm sharing in with, if you just keep putting stuff out there, letting everybody know who you really are, then they can't help but vote for you, even if they don't like your all your wonderful opinions. Now, for the mayor's race, I'm not married to any of the mayoral candidates. It's a tough spot, honestly. But Spencer Pratt, a Republican reality TV star, how could that go wrong? How could that go wrong? I wonder how it could go wrong. He could be super supportive of Israel. Is he? I wonder. James Lee, over on the Instagram Reels, is he into it? Is he supportive of it? Yeah, no one's ever asked him about whether it's a genocide or not. Curious. Probably gonna be fine. He's probably a good guy. His videos, I mean, how could he not be? And then what? You have fucking Cesar Kami Chavez, Karen over there, a black lady named Karen. That can't be a good sign. Yeah, and then of course the face of suicidal empathy, Nithya Raman. Yeah, she's a real cup of noodles. She's curry flavored. She's a curry flavored cup of noodles. Her last name's Ramen. Is she a pastafarian? The flying spaghetti monster, anybody? 2014 with the hardcore atheism. We miss it so much. Fucking UAP aliens. God damn it. Right. And of course, a bunch of other candidates, but those are ones you know about. It is a big problem in these type of elections that we have. Yeah, the zero-sum game, right? Having to take the good with the bad, make a choice that you actually aren't supportive of, but when you compare it to the other choice, what else could you do? It's tough. I'm not super excited to vote for either of these people, to be honest. Maybe Spencer Pratt shouldn't be talking about Epstein, but I feel like there's a few more viral videos he could do. Honestly, though, I can't handle Karen, Nithya, whoever she is. All right, all I know is that these people have been in charge of the city as it has gone to hell in a handbasket, and I am reflexive. I am part of the reflexive voter base. I think I'm like the first one to the pendulum. I'm like the first one to the pendulum, and I go, "Ooh!" I push it. I push the pendulum myself. Yeah, and like I don't have the right. Come on. I tell you guys who I am. All right, I was a fucking janitor for the most popular business in almost America. Right? Fucking In-N-Out. I was there on the fucking ground, making sure it was clean for everybody. I know, dude. I care. I know what's up. All right. Nowadays, what do? I shut down hospice scams. Medicare scams. I'm fucking in the city as a process server, finding these fucking scam artists hard at work. All right, I'm in it, man. Investigative, doing my best. I don't share it because it's an actual real business I have, and I'm not allowed to. I got stories for days. Okay, these motherfucking drug addicts on the street. I can't have an opinion about those people. I deal with them in my personal and work life. Okay, I evict squatters. Something I do. I deal with the criminals. I try to find them as they're hiding from all their fiduciary responsibilities. I'm not here to hurt them, but I'm here to, trying to affect some sort of justice. I understand all these issues. Okay, I see these things with my own eyes, my own rose-colored eyes. All the issues, the homeless, mentally ill, down on their luck drug addicts, all right, the impoverished, the debt-burdened, all right. I have served my fair share of celebrities. I've gone up to fucking Beverly Crest and seen all the people who live there, fucking staked out in Beverly Hills, waiting for some fucking evil landlord. Okay, I'm a literal foot soldier for people out there fighting and doing the right thing. Or at least, using the justice system. Whatever that is. All right? I know the deal, and I'm here to make an educated guess. All right? It's close. I'm not going to do another podcast until after the election. I'm probably going to vote for Spencer Pratt. Okay? I'm probably going to do it. I mean, yeah, Spencer, he might be in for Israel, which is, in reality, the Epstein intelligence agency. Right? The CIA, they're all fucking working together in some kind of evil way. I talk about that all the time up here. All right? Yeah, America's fucking, we're the bad guys. Sucks to say. And Spencer Pratt might be totally, bought out by them. But I think about it, and I go, if we treat the drug addicts who live on the street in Los Angeles like the Palestinians, maybe that's something I can get behind. I'm listening. No, if we could have an ethnic cleansing of the homeless drug addicts, I think I'm on board for that. No, we got to take the good with the bad here. Got to take the good with the bad. The choices might be clear. All right, a little draconian apartheid for the homeless drug addicts. Kind of with that. I'm kidding. But I will say, if anyone deserves a violent relocation, it's the homeless drug addicts. Okay. Yep, that's it. Thank you very much. That's the end of the pod. I appreciate your time with me today. Check out Mount Moore, June 5th. I'll be doing a set. I'm not sure what I'll talk about yet. June 29th, of course, more dates, TBA. They're already on the books. Most people are booked all the way up to September. We're planning for it. Gonna be filming tons of it. If I can get a new computer in this bitch as my process serving business, rides on the edge of failure. Well, you'll see a lot more of it. Yeah. Look out for the special we've been working on. All right, support my business. Off the grid services. That's my business. I don't have business cards yet, but I have a website. Shout out to Solaris Consulting. There you go. That's the name of the business that made my website. Yeah, and of course, watch the comedy I've already made. Maybe check out a few pods. I like to make this podcast rewatchable. I really do. Yeah, and check out my movie, Strange Audience, the many sketches I've put out over the years. All right, I've been trying my fucking best out here. I got a lot of other pods too, man. I'm fucking working it. Well, I made a podcast series for your mental health with my wonderful viewer, Sammy. Shout out. Watch that. I've been fucking, I got a lot of stuff out here, man. I have my own business. And this is what I tell you. Start your own fucking business, man. Take care of your own security. Create your own community and culture. All right? There's a new coalition coming. You got to get ready. Stay calm. Be smart. Know what you really want. Work to achieve it. And don't let the AI, alien, satanic, oligarchical pizza lovers abduct you and throw you into an oven. Make jerky out of you.